All right, I wanted to touch base a little bit about the political process as a whole, how it relates to us as an individual, just my thoughts and opinions on it. I just want to share with y'all. I'm gonna try to do it real quick. Um, the theme for this video, I want us as the people to be more organized, more intentional, um, and overall more knowledgeable about the political process, what its implications are, uh, what it means to us as individuals, and what it means to us as a community. I think that's very important. I think education on that is lacking a little bit, even to myself, to some degree. Um, you see, I got my people's the black tourmaline with the. Make sure you don't miss the tourmalated quartz on there. Make sure you don't miss the tourmalated quartz on there. That's the hold me down and the ground me in this video, because this is a hot topic for me, and I talk about this a lot. But I want to remain grounded and consistent uh, when I'm speaking. All right, so let's jump right into it. This thread was um, kind of motivated by how, like I said, several conversations I've had before, but then also when I was getting off the train the other day. Um, it's electoral time in New York City, so a lot of offices are looking for votes right now. We got the mayor vote coming up. I think it's September 10th, which is in a couple days. You got the mayoral vote coming up, comptroller, city councilman, et cetera, et cetera. All the good city stuff coming up. And now all of a sudden, all these people are like out all on the streets, greet me when I come off the subway, trying to hand me pamphlets about a certain um, candidate. People driving through the streets with signs and horns and giving out free stuff to people, and really trying to win the public over, and all that type of stuff. And it's just so see through. It's so see through. I don't want to judge any individuals that I don't know. But I'm saying the process in general um, is opportunistic at best and very harmful at worst. So let's get into a little bit. Um, so again, I think that one of the one of the big issues I have is that for 11 months out of the year, you can't see these motherfuckers anywhere. Like where are our city councilmen and women, and um, where are our politicians? Where is our mayor? Where is our comptroller? Where is our um, the office of the I forget what the other offices are, but there's a bunch of offices connected to the comptroller. I mean, connected to the mayor's office that are up for the city councilman is up right now and stuff like that. I'm like, where are y'all the other days of the year? When people are struggling and trying to survive and trying to make a way for themselves and trying to get fairness and justice and equality. Like, where are y'all then? Like, motherfuckers is nowhere to be found at that point. And I feel some type of way about that. So you know I try to remain balanced. I try to participate in the political system because I think it's to our benefit to as people. To benefit in the political system, and that's the way a lot of resolutions and reformations can come about. But at the same time, I'm about holding motherfuckers accountable too, and I'm not with the um, selective righteousness. When it comes time and I need your vote, then you're gonna see me out on the street corner and talking to you and shaking your hand and patting your baby and handing out flyers, talking about what I'm doing. It seems like that shit only comes around when people need votes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying stuff doesn't cost money, and then I know it takes resources to be able to make something like that happen. But at the end of the day, my point is that it seems like politicians need big corporations for money, but they need people to get them elected. So they give big corporations 300, 30 days out of the year, and they give regular people 30 days out of the year. That 30 days up to when I'm getting elected, That's when you're gonna hear from me. That's when I'm gonna outreach to you, ask you what's going on, trying to figure out what's going on with you in your community, and figure out how I can help you. And I'm gonna kiss your baby, and I'm gonna give you some for free, and I'm gonna come talk to you and shake your hand in that moment, in that 30 days, because I want your vote. You know, how many of these motherfuckers is really gonna be around next week after the elections is over, out on 125th Street, shaking hands and talking to people? You know, it happens every year. This is the same. This is the same cycle every year. You know, so it's not like this is anything new, and we need to really catch on to this. All right, so I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on with that. But y'all see where I was going with that. And I guess the biggest point I'm really trying to get to with that is that we as a people have to remain consistent in our political activism and our community activism. Similar to what I said on the Trayvon Martin thing. It's not just about being politically conscious in the months leading up to an election or in the months leading up to, you know, when somebody's running a campaign. We have to hold politicians accountable 24/7, 365, or else them motherfuckers run rampant, and we see the evidence of that. Politicians in this government, in this current social system, when they are unchecked, are very dangerous for the people. You know, they do not represent the best interest of all the people, and that is an issue. That is a huge issue because that is their job. That is their function. The people, the government works for us, the people. Politicians are accountable to us, the people. We elect them, we hire them. We're the ones that put them in that position. So they are responsible to us and our best interest, not the best interest of whoever is signing that check. But they will be at the behest of those who are signing the checks when the people are absent in that role. And that's where we're at right now. We're absent in our role as leadership. We're absent in our role holding them accountable. So that's why we have the fuckery that we do. And so the overall theme for this video, I'm already at 7 minutes. I'm going to try to keep this short though. But the overall theme for this video is, again, staying consistent and staying organized and staying intentional, you know, with intentionality. Look that word up. Intentionality with how we choose to participate in this political system, because all activities are not created equal, and consistency is very important. Consistency is very important. Let us keep walking. The biggest reason that this affects you, me, everyone else in this society is because politicians dictate public policy. Public policy is law. Law determines how things function, how things are enforced, and how things operate. Okay? So if we want to change something about employment, about benefits, about housing, about you know, a CEO's bonus check, if we want to help control those things and balance those out a little bit, it starts with public policy and politics. You know, in the policies that these politicians put forward. So I want to connect that directly. Strategic participation in the political process ties directly into how resources are distributed in the society. Who is getting what? And for how long? And for what reason? Those two are directly connected. So to say people don't participate in politics, or I don't want to vote because it's all bullshit, or, you know, people not being organized around these matters, it matters. Because we have an issue with how the resources are being distributed, correct? The direct correlation to that is the politicians we have in office and the policies that they put into place and that they sign into law and that they support. Okay? So all this is connected. All this is connected. How you live in with who comes in office is directly connected. Okay? As a whole. As a whole. Gonna keep coming back to that. Another key point when it comes to the political process, and especially when it comes to the advocating as a people in the political process, is knowing where the power lies. Who has the power to make you what you want happen? Because it's not everybody. You might go to the mayor for some things. You might go to the deputy for some things. You might go to the housing authority for other things. It's different for different objectives. So find out what are the issues that matter to you, and who holds the power to make the changes that you want happen, and not the people who have to go to somebody else to make it happen, but the people who are like, okay, you convince me, I sign it into law. It's on the law. It's on the books. Now people have to enforce it. Now the state has to enforce it. That's who you want to target, or that's who we want to target with our political objectives. Okay, it's very important to know where the power lies. Who has the decision-making power? Because that is our right as a populace, is to exercise that power, the decision-making power. And we just have to find lines where it intersects and where we cross in our interests. I may have a certain set of interests. You may have another set of certain interests. Another group may have another set of interests. But it's about where those interests intersect on a very fundamental level, and then advocating for that as a collective. Rewind that back and run that a couple more times, because it's about different groups coming together, seeing where their lines of interest intersect, and then coming together as a collective to enforce that group, that objective. Okay? And that's very important, because we have a million different groups out here doing a million different things with a million different objectives, but a lot of this stuff overlaps. We don't need to create anything new in so much as we need to connect the resources that already exist to complete whatever it is objectives we're trying to complete. You may agree with something, you may disagree with something else. Get down with the movement that you agree with. If you agree with fair education, if you agree with fair housing, if you agree with fair employment, if you agree with fair taxes, get on with that movement. And get involved with something that resonates with you. But there's a common ground for everybody. And we need to start connecting these together and get organized on that level, because the system is very organized. The system is very organized. That's one of its strengths, and that's one of our weaknesses, is the level of organization and collaboration that we use in the completion of our objectives, collective objectives. The system knows how to complete its collective objective, and we as a people are struggling with that right now. Okay? So again, the correlation between political power and economic power. The benefits of political power are not always self-evident and are not always the short term. It's some long term. It's chess, not checkers, so to speak. It's about long-term gains than short-term gains, even though it can be both. But we really, as a people, need to keep our eye on the bigger prize, which is stability, justice, and a reformation of our social system to bring equality. We don't need individual acknowledgments of social equality and appeasements of social equality. We need a system that is equal socially and has justice and has righteousness. We need a system like that, not just individual instances of that. And there's a huge difference in that. So again, I don't think this is really that mystified. I think what it's going to take to really turn this around is a lot of cooperation, a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, and a lot of courage. Knowledge is having the information to know what to do. Wisdom is knowing when to do it and how to apply it. And then courage is making sure that you have the cojones to lay it down and move forward with conviction. And those are the critical elements that we need to maximize on right now. And I'm gonna end it off with, along with the theme of be organized, be knowledgeable, be courageous, be wise. I want to end it off with an example with my peoples from the Occupy Wall Street, because I had a lot of people who were involved in Occupy Wall Street. I was involved in Occupy Wall Street. And I felt like, it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful movement. And it's still happening, whether people know or don't know. People are still meeting and building on those issues. But I felt that if there were a little more cohesion, if there were a little more organization and wisdom and knowledge to go with that movement, it could have been a lot more effective. And granted, I know different people get into it for different reasons, but at the end of the day, even if Occupy Wall Street could have done something as simple as, say, everybody that's down with the Occupy Wall Street movement, who wants to be involved with it, who wants to support it, you know, even if they just said that they were going to come together and build their own network of economic cooperation that exists separate from the system or exist, to empower the people who are involved in it. A community economic network, a cooperative, an economic cooperative. Even if that were the minimum, because we couldn't agree on everything in Occupy Wall Street, but what we could agree on is that there was economic injustice and that we needed a little bit more balance in the distribution of monetary and natural resources. So what do we just say? Everybody that wants to get down with that movement, who wants economic justice, who wants more balance in wealth distribution, you just say, hey, I am signing up to participate in this economic cooperative and this economic collective where we come together and we build how we need to build in order to achieve an economic sustainability. You know, so that's I think this is going to be like a part one. I think I'm gonna go a little bit deeper, here in the next video about the politics and about the economics, how they tie together, and then what are some real concrete steps that we can take. I gave some concrete steps in this video, but more concrete steps that we can take in order to achieve this mission of just creating a better quality and standard of life for people, as a whole, as a community. That's what this is about. So shout out to all the people who are in that struggle, who are fighting for that cause, and peace and love to all the people who, who support it, who support the cause. We'll be back real soon. Peace.